guys, how's it going? It's iStyle, and in this video we'll be taking a look at MARVO's latest 60% gaming mechanical keyboard. And thanks to MARVO for reaching out and sending me this keyboard for review. This is a KG962 and it's available in either black or white. I chose to go with the one in black as it goes well with my setup theme. So this keyboard comes in at $40, which is a great price for a portable mechanical keyboard. So I've already opened the box, but I'll still do a quick unboxing of the KG962, then I'll go on to the specs of the keyboard. On the front you can see this red icon. This pretty much means that this keyboard has red switches. However, it's also available in blue switches, and I'll explain more about the switch types and how they would impact your experience later in this video. Included within the box, we have this 1.6 meter detachable USB Type-C cable, the user guide, and we have a nice little MARVO brand sticker. So for my first look at this, I noticed that it's extremely lightweight, making it portable. This keyboard is about 530 grams, mainly due to the 60% compact design. So when looking at the quality of this keyboard, the build quality is very unique and distinctive from other mechanical keyboards I've used in the past. It has this matte black finish and some red stripes towards the sides and the top. The backside doesn't have a stand to raise the keyboard, however the tilted shape of the keyboard does make up for this, and the tilted shape also provides an ergonomic feel to it. There's also 4 rubber feet on the back which prevents it from sliding across the table. I also want to add that my personal experience with this keyboard may be different compared to yourself or other YouTubers, as this is my first time using a 60% keyboard. Alright, so now let's talk about the design of the KG962. The ultra compact 61 keys layout lets you have more space on your desk, especially if you have a small desk and you need more space for your mouse movement or for the desktop. Since this is a 60% keyboard, you don't have the extra keys on the right as you would with another keyboard. However, that doesn't mean you're missing out on the features, as they're still available alongside the other keys. For example, you still have the arrow keys integrated with the WASD keys. Same for the home, page up and down keys as well. I also want to mention that the keycaps are finished with a special double shot injection mold, which pretty much means that they are durable and won't fade in color or detail. I also noticed that the keycaps don't get any fingerprints on it, which I couldn't say the same about my previous keyboard, which was a fingerprint magnet, and I'd have to clean it very often. So with that being said, I really like that this keyboard is an anti-fingerprint magnet. Now MARVO also claims that the keys have a 50 million keystroke and they're made to last a lifetime. There's also 2 LED indicators at the top of the keyboard for the keycaps and Windows lock, which not many 60% keyboards include, so it's a pretty cool addition. This keyboard also has a detachable Type-C cable, which adds a more stable wired connection and strong compatibility. Now, although having a detachable cable for a keyboard is a must for today's standards, my previous keyboard did not have that, and that made it extremely difficult to cable manage and easily travel with the keyboard. So I'm very pleased with the fact that it's detachable. So moving on to the switch types, I mentioned before you can choose whether you want the red or the blue switches for the KG962. The difference pretty much is that the blue switches provide a clicky sound when pressed, whereas the red switches do not have that satisfying clicky sound. It just depends on your personal preference whether you want that sound or not. I have the red switches for this keyboard, and while gaming, I didn't experience any issues at all with the switches. And I'll do a quick sound test right now. Now let's take a look at the LED backlight and RGB effects. So if you didn't notice already, the KG962 does feature adjustable lighting effects. So if you press FN and Alt, it will change the effect. If you press FN and M, it would change the brightness of the LEDs. And if you press FN plus comma, you can change the speed of the LED effects. The LED does look pretty cool, especially in the dark, but I would have liked to see more color choices or maybe even static colors as well, so it's easier to match up with your setup. Because currently you are unable to change the colors in case you wanted only red or blue for all the keys. You can't really do that with this keyboard, which is kind of a letdown, but regardless, the LEDs still look pretty cool and they can be turned off if you prefer not to show them. Now, although you don't actually need a software or any driver to use this keyboard, it's just plug in and play, you can still download one off MARVO's product website. It's a very easy installation and you can fully customize the keyboard with this software. So what you're able to do is click on the individual keys and use them as a macro or completely change the function of them. You can also play around with the LED modes from the different color effects and change the speed and brightness of the LEDs, which is pretty cool. Now, like I did mention before, you can't change the individual colors of the LEDs. Instead, you can just cycle through the different effects that they have. You can also change the speed or brightness of the LEDs instead of manually changing them using the keyboard keys. So for my final thoughts, would I personally recommend this keyboard? Well, anyone looking to get their hands on a good quality 60% mechanical gaming keyboard, in particular those who are on a low budget, I would recommend. It does feel solid when playing games, and considering the price of the keyboard, the features are actually outstanding. You get a mechanical keyboard, a 60% compact design, RGB backlight with customizable lighting effects, a detachable Type-C cable, and you can choose if you want it in black or white and red or blue switches. Only drawbacks I can say is that there are no media keys, and the RGB was a bit disappointing because you can't completely customize the colors. Another thing I forgot to mention is while I was using the keyboard for editing or gaming, I noticed that it's hard to clearly read the numbers or the symbols next to them because of the font. I don't know if that was just me, but it is hard to understand. With that being said, I still think that the addition of the software to add macros is pretty cool, and I would say that this keyboard is definitely worth the price. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave a link for the keyboard in the description for you to check out. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video.